This is your mix. As you can see, this is the consistency. It's got the lumps, etc., which will create aeration in there from your potting mix. And then you can see the brown in there, which is your coir, which is now going to help retain moisture and aerate it at the same time. You fill up your potting mix to a level about 20 ml from the top. This allows a certain amount of water in rain or whatever to sit on the surface here without it immediately running off, and it allows it a chance to flow in. If indeed this gets filled up by heavy rain or whatever, the water will actually run through these little slots here, and that will actually go into the next pot down again as a water saving feature. You won't get a general overflow. You will need 20 litres per level of these pots. What I recommend is that the coir that you've got in your starter pack expands to about plus minus 10 litres. So if you're talking about a stack of 4, you need 20, 40, 60, 80 litres. So I would buy 2 30 litre or 30 dm cube bags of potting mix, which I then add my coir to it, which will then make it up to the 80. If you still need a little bit more, if it's not quite filling up your pots fully, you can take some good potting soil or good compost or a bit of good soil if you've got some good soil, and just mix it in just to bring it up to the level. If you're going to do your own seeds, what I suggest is you do your own seeds separately in little packs like this, or if you're going to buy the seedlings, which is the method that I normally do, you buy a little 6-pack here, and it's very straightforward. You can see your plants, so you can plant them out. What I would suggest is, depending on what kind of plant you've got here, if you've got a plant which is going to grow big, then you plant one big one in the middle here. But if you're going to get 2, and quite honestly, I can normally get 2 of most species of veggies and things, like even 2 spinach plants you can get in here. Provided you feed them enough, they can grow both very healthily. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 in here. So I'm going to dig that hole there. I'm going to take the pot out. So I take it out. If it's very dry, I'll put it in some water, let it bubble around a bit so it gets wet. Then I'll just loosen this pot bound roots a little bit, just a tad if they are pot bound. It just stimulates a little bit of extra growth. I quite often will put in the hole as well just a little bit of bone meal, which will stimulate root growth. And then I'll just put my plant in, and voila, off you go. The actual size of this root ball is quite small and compact. So once it's in the soil here, this little root ball here is not going to draw moisture from over here as yet until its root system develops. So what I ask you to do is, when you water initially, water around the bottom of each one so that the little root ball here gets moisture directly and doesn't have to suffer and die, because you'll find that these little root balls dry out very easily, and you may look around here and it's a lot of moisture, but in fact it's not. So the second one I'll put in here next to it, and we've got plenty of space here, and we'll plant those around like that, and there we go. So these are 2 here. Then you go to this side, you'll plant 2 more plants here and 2 more plants here. You've now got your plants planted up. I would now water the whole pot as a whole unit. You've probably watered each individual one a little bit when you planted it, but now I'd use a mixture of a liquid fertilizer such as nitrosol or one of those other liquid feeds. So the free roaming moisture at the moment in the mix will have nutrients in it, which is over and above, it's readily available, whereas the ones that we added as slow release will take a little bit of time to become fully active and begin releasing their nutrients. Now, I would also continue to do this for a period of the next few waterings with a liquid feed, because that will then, a little bit on each one, will help to get that particular plant developed, because in the little pack, in that little pack of roots, there is no nutrients. The nurseries will feed that all with liquid fertilizer from their irrigation systems. just to show you how the best way I find to apply organic slow release fertilizers such as Talborn or whichever other one you want to do, even if it's Bounce Back or one of the Neutrogs. What I do is I'll scratch a hole, a little trench around the plant, and I'll put some of it in, and then I'll cover it over. Now that becomes available over a period of time, and it's a slow release. You can either use this loose meal, or if you've managed to get the tablets works very similarly. Just dig a little trench like this with a knife or some other sharp instrument. This soil is quite soft, so it's easy, and I just push that tablet down underneath into the root zone, and I cover it up. Those tablets are extraordinarily effective. They last for 2 to 3 months, and they're brilliant. Obviously, with liquid form fertilizers, which includes the chemicals, if you're going to use chemical, it washes through. It doesn't stay behind, and it's a quick feed as opposed to a slow release feed. Finally, the top planter, you can plant an extra plant in the middle here because it's on the top, and you can get an extra plant here, which you can see in the middle here, a tall plant, and that gives you actually 4 positions on the top layer. Now, if you want to add extra layers later, you can of course add extra layers. You can just move that top one up and add another one in between. So you don't need to just have 3 or 4 sets, you can have a 5th set and a 6th set. Another very important feature is each level is not particularly heavy. They can be moved easily from position to position by just dismantling them, and that positional change may be due to change of season, where you move them out of a frosty area into a covered area, etc. Seasonal changes is something that we all have. And also, if you're moving property, you can actually take your plants with you. And that is often something which we find as a little bit of a barrier when we do somebody else's garden in a rented property, that we don't want to invest too much there because it's not ours. These are yours, and you can take them with you wherever you go. I hope this video has helped you a lot and inspired you to really enjoy your pots. Obviously, there's going to be changes of climate in different parts of the country, and there's a lot of trial and error involved in all kinds of gardening. But we've got a lot of information on our website, and you can feel free to phone me anytime if I can help you with any particular problem that you might have. But I wish you lots of luck. I hope you enjoy it lots and lots, and I'm sure you will, and have lots of goodies for your kitchen. Thank you.